The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through. He tags Richard Neagle.
In a short series with no drop races and large fields, one mistake can erase a season's worth of effort. Such is the worry for 4-time series champion and current points leader Errol Num, as this afternoon the Absolute Beginner League's Formula Neagle comes to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for the penultimate round of 7 on the season 12 calendar. And all the Skippy action can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. From the birthplace of Dudley Do-Right, welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. Way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view is yours truly, Bill Soups On. Adam Young is on assignment, so joining me in the booth this afternoon is Never Say Die, Dawson Brock. Sitting in for Joe Peak in the director's chair is the doctor of pit topology himself, Amjad Yaman, armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. If you brought cyberspace into your place, then over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the 45 minutes of simulated skip barber racing that will immediately follow. Dawson, the last time Formula Neagle came here was 2 seasons ago when Errol Num nipped Tuan Tran by 1/10 of a second to get the win. David Third Degree Burns was only a half second back of them for third. For those viewers who missed the Season 10 broadcast, tell us about today's venue.
Well, Soup Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, or more commonly known as Mosport, is located in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. One of the things to point out as we look at the track map is that this 2.5-mile layout that you see on screen is pretty much how this place looked when it opened in 1961. That said, the majority of these 10 fast corners are with a lot of elevation changes. This means passing opportunities will be at a premium. The real worry for most drivers is Clayton, turn 2. In real life, the runoff is now paved, meaning that it's not as dangerous, but here on the iRacing version, you still have that grass, so we're going to have to watch that as the night goes on. I can almost guarantee you that a couple races will end there. Let's take a quick look at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman and the GSRC Skippy, so let's do a lap around Mosport. Turn 1 is going to be a fast downhill right-hander. Sometimes it's a passing zone, but it's a risky proposition to make it work. Plus, it's easy to get greedy and dip your left side tires off the track. There's only a short breather on the exit as you have to get right to set up for Clayton. This blind double apexer is tricky in normal conditions, but add the lift throttle oversteer of the Skippy and it can be utterly frightening to take on. Once again, not a lot of time to relax as you're already switching sides to take the proper line into Quebec. This feels like a late apex, but you're actually hitting it about mid-corner, and the turn simply opens up as you track out. Now, up ahead, it looks like the circuit just disappears, but you're actually going to fly down through 4 in a crazy plunge towards Moss Corner. This is a potential but risky place to pass with its short braking under compression and curved entry. Attack with caution. Now, there's 2 apexes on Moss, but the second is by far the most important. Getting a launch off of here will make or break your lap times, not to mention your race. If you're slow off the corner, it's a long slog up the Mario Andretti straight, and you'll be watching all your competitors just breeze on past. There's not a lot of oomph in this engine, so momentum off the hairpin will be everything in order to give yourself more speed as you climb back uphill. Now, as we come up to the S's, remember that ambitious drivers may attempt to pass around the outside, so stay vigilant. The nature of the corner makes either side a viable option for an overtake. Finally, after the crest, you're going to stay left, then just lift and ease the car into the S's. Try to hug the inside of this first right-hander to set up better for 9. Then, make sure to stay as far left as you can for the best line into White's corner. Be careful not to clobber that curb too hard, then carefully let the car track out and finish your lap around Mosport.
Joe Peak taking us around Mosport. Now let's take a lap around the point standings. Now, as mentioned in the opening, a 7-race series with no drop races. At this point of the season, all you can hope for is to have positioned yourself with a chance to win. That is what Bushfink Pink's Errol Num and Mama Jean Racing's Bastian Hausman have done. If none can just par on the final 2 holes, that's Mosport and Suzuka, the 5th championship should come his way. But if the Roland Estonian shanks one into the trees and double bogeys, Hausman is there to steal the trophy away. With Mama Jean driver Hausman and Tuan Tran, those are the only other 2 drivers with wins other than Num this season. Jumping onto the overlay is Jefferson Padovani. The best result for the Club de Volte Black driver was a 3rd at Okayama. Am Racing's Andrew Leach has only been here 3 times, but he has a 7th and a pair of 5ths. That's enough to make him last on the graphic. Let's go ahead and take a look at the team championship where Hausman and Tran, they sit 2nd and 3rd in the driver standings, and that has Mama Jean Racing way out in front. Now, Frederick Neptune earned 8 points last time at Lime Rock Park with a little help from Errol Num. Bush Fink Pink is locked into 2nd place. 2 Stupid Dogs, powered by Vincent Bream and David 3rd Degree Burns, are only 5 points ahead of Am Racing Prime's Andrew Leach and Michael Hofladason. Power Slide Racing only lasted 1 round on the graphic. They're replaced this week by Gap Sim Racing Team. They're manned by Floris Bashar and Hendrik Kamara. So Dawson, we've talked about the track. We've gone over the points. How about we look at the race details?
Well, each of these races 45 minutes long. Now, this is round 6 of 7. No drop weeks, so you have to show up for all 7 if you want to take a chance at this championship, more than likely. Setups are open, but Skip Barber car, not much to change, so only a couple advantages that other drivers are going to be able to use there. You're going to need to stop for fuel, probably once. I don't know if tires are really, I don't think they use tires. Incident cap, we're looking at about 20 incidences, so that's going to have to be something that drivers keep in the back of their mind, and also no quick repairs. The car you show up with is the car you're going to have to finish with.
Yes, this series runs 45-minute races and 70-minute races. They run the same fuel for both. So in the 45-minute races, the pit window is incredibly long. You may see some of these guys run this to maybe 5 minutes left of racing to go, maybe a splash and go at the end and do 1 or 2 laps only. So yeah, tires not an issue. They just don't have time to take them here. Maybe a little different in when they do those 2-stop races, when they're racing a little longer and they wear out. Qualifying's underway. Now, our last race was at Lime Rock, where qualifying was a huge, important part because passing was so tough there. Yeah, passing may be a little hard here compared to some of the other tracks, but this one, a little more draft-oriented. I think we're going to see a little more of a pack racing going on, so maybe your position on the grid not quite as important right now. Let's go ahead and see who we can take a look at as they work their way around. How about Andy Bernard there? Currently sitting 7th in practice times. And again, those practice times can be a little misleading. You see, this is one of these places, Dawson, you get off track here. You may not hit a wall, but you'll slide for a long time before you can find the road again. A lot of grass. Let's talk a little bit about pit lane. They will have to make a stop. Pit lane, it's not all difficult here. You have to be careful as in any pit lane, but for the most part, they should be able to get in and out without too much of an issue. It's right off of the final turn. Long straightaway down, long pit lane down the main straight. And then it dumps you back in right after corner number 1, so there really shouldn't be a lot of traffic problems. There's Errol Num sitting on top. David Burns, Pierce Cocky. Bastian Hausman in the mix, close enough. You can see Moore in 5th, Vincent Bream in 6th. Dawson, why don't you take a quick peek? Let's look at the weather there and tell us, what are we looking at? Is it going to be hot, going to be cold? Gets a little bit warm. These skippies already slide around enough. How's the track temperature?
Well, the track temperature looks a little bit warm today. The sun really beating down on the pavement. We're looking at 101 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the air temp only 73. Winds about 2 miles an hour out of the south, so not too much wind, but that shouldn't really play an effect today.
It's afternoon skies, the sun very tall, the shadows very short. They have 10 minutes of qualifying to get this in. And look at this. Now, his nickname is Shortfield because he has notoriously for putting not enough fuel in there, and he was in P1 for just a moment. Errol Numb, the Rolling Estonian, wanted none of that. He gets that spot back. And again, don't be surprised if even Errol Numb, if he qualifies on first, don't be surprised if he surrenders that position. As saving fuel here, Dawson, what you'll see is drivers... So the racing is so close that the amount of time they spend in the pit box can determine your race. They'll sit behind and just be in the tow for as long as there's no reason to be out in front.
Yeah, the one race I did in this series, it was at Spa, and obviously Spa with the long straightaways and everything. There were a lot of different strategies we were going through, and a couple guys would be battling up in the top three, and that fourth person, we thought he'd save enough fuel, and so... I wasn't sure if that was going to be as big of a deal here, but, I mean, I think it might.
An interesting name, Rob Adams, sitting up in the top 10 in qualifying. Rob Adams has been in 3 races so far this season. His best finish, 17th. Couple that with a 41 and a 44th, so my goodness, a great qualifying run from him. His best start, 17th. Currently sitting in 9th. The newcomer has to be happy with that. This is called the Absolute Beginner League, and yes, don't be fooled by that. They are friendly to the newcomers, and that's why our grids are so big, but at the pointy end of the stick, the talent level is considerably high.
Here's another name up in the top, in 4th place now, Ashley Beard.
Ashley Beard, we know a little bit. I know Ashley Beard, he did a little bit of time in the MX5 World Tour. Talking about strength of field, Errol Numb's I rating is currently about 6,800. Some other drivers with big I ratings, Tuan Tran is in the 5,000s. Ricard Allard, we have not seen a lot from him. He has been sitting out. He's a veteran we've seen many seasons before. Good to see Ricard back with us today. Looking to see where he sits right now in qualifying. Well, he has not put in a qualifying time. Maybe he just showed up for practice.
It currently shows that he is not in the server, so I wonder if...
Yeah, that doesn't... He might have just popped in to say hello. These absolute beginners are always famous for large grids. Not quite as big today as we might have feared. Looks like we got about 36 names that signed in. 32 have been able to put in qualifying time so far. Here's Kiradine Bawafia. He's yet to put in a qualifying time. Would like to get that one in. Bawafia, veteran of not only this series, but a few other series here on the Global Sim Racing channel. He had a good lap time. Unfortunately, he had an off, so it's not going to count in iRacing. You got to put in a clean lap. I guess, Dawson, your strategy can differ on that one. You can either try to put the good one in first, and then if you don't get that one, then be careful in the second one, or get one in the bank and then see what you can do on the second one. I like to get one in the bank, personally.
Yeah, and especially with these big fields, you know, starting all the way back, 32 cars to pass, it can be a really big deal, this qualifying. You know, a couple positions here and there might not matter, but an entire field's like that's a big difference.
With qualifying about a minute to go, I think everybody is just about done. And since this is a standing start, and Dawson and I both want to get our GSRC's commentator bonus for getting the entire grid in before they go green, let's go to the grid right now. We'll take them 10 at a time. On the front row, a pair of champions, Errol Numb, 4 for him. Tuan Tran, he has 1. The Portuguese driver, Diego Francisco, in 3rd position. He's good, he's fast, he's a rookie. Pierce Cockey, veteran, in 4th. David Third Degree Burns and Andrew Leach make up the next row. Ashley Beard, my goodness, what a great qualifying run from him. Bastian Hausman, still in the championship hunt, sits in 8th. Then here's the new guy we talked about, Rod Evans. What a great run, very surprising to see him so far up. Jefferson Padovani in 10th. Dawson?
Steven Larkamp just going to be right outside the top 10. He's going to sit 11th outside of him. Michael Haffeldason. Floris Bashar starting 13th. And in the 25 machine, Vincent Brem. Austin Espedy in 15th. And Ludwig Sawyer 16th. Liam Quinn 17th. Andy Moore 18th. Joachim Lundgren 19th. And Neil Bamber in 20th.
Bambi rounding out the top 20. Let's go to the blackjack spot. Nico Roman, his brother's not here today. In the double duck, it's Michelle Rukenbrink, Andrew Bonar, and Kevin Mills in the next row. Christopher Hancock and Tony Matthews in the 25 and 26 spot. Tom Vandepol, Marcus Gristal in the 27th and 28th. 29th and 30th, Mikhail Bittman and Roger Pritkin. Dawson?
Luca Antonori sitting in 31st, and Daniel Barnett, the last person to put down a time. He's going to start in 32nd. Ricard Allard, 33rd. Adam Bradshaw, 34th. Katerine Bufaya, 35th. And rounding out the field, Richard Colombi.
All right, I think you're going to be happy that Kiradine Buafia, actually, I don't think he's going to grid up here. Although he was qualifying, looking to see if those guys... Richard Colomb looks like he might get out there. Waiting to see if any of those four guys that didn't put in times actually take the grid. I don't think any of them are right now. I know that our pole sitter Errol Num is on the pole, sitting out there, still waiting for Tron Tran and the purple and black attack Mama Jean car to get out there. Keep an eye on the guy in third. He's from Portugal. We've watched him earlier. Diogo Francisco. He is fast. He is good. He is aggressive. Pierce Cocky, always fast if he can manage to figure out the fuel load to put in. Short Phil really has not lived up to his nickname recently. He's got that figured out as of late. David Third Degree Burns, I think he had hopes of a championship this season, sitting in 5th spot. Really hasn't been able to get it together. In contrast to that, Andrew Leach in 6th has been very fast. Tuan Tran has made the grid. You can hear the engine start to harmonize. Gather up the chicken steak, cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And Errol Num leads the stampede of Skippies down into the first corner. In second, Tuan Tran, the Portuguese driver, Diego Francisco, drops into third. Look at Francisco already looking to get up there. 4th and 5th, David Burns, Andrew Leach. It's about a 8-car train. 7-car train. Hausman drops back a little bit, trying to get up with the front guys.
Clean start for the entire field here. Every Skip Barber so far looks to be keeping it on the track, so a great start for this league.
So far, the whole field gets through Quebec. Now they'll bunch up, though, when they get down in here into 5 and 6. I'm going to call both of these corners Moss. Here we go as they go around. Oh, and we have one off. One of them is Bastian Hausman in the purple and black car, but he gets it saved up. No, he loses it. Yes, he gets it. No, he loses it. Yes, he gets it. Oh, talk about a tank slapper. All that in front of Mikael Hoflandason in 8th. We'll come back and look at that one in a minute. Meanwhile, back there with him slowing down, they are now 3 wide behind, heading down the Andretti straight. They're flying in diamond position in 12th spot. They got to get it sorted out. Oh, my spider senses are tingling here. 3 wide into 8. Oh, backing out. That was a smart move. Backing out was Stefan Larkamp. He said, I don't want any part of that. Hausman makes it through. Bream makes it through. They run 12th, 13th, and 14th. Single file now, all the way back. Are we going to get everyone around the first lap? Only a few more cars to go. They work the final corner, going a little bit off into the grass. Was Andy Moore, but he keeps it going straight. Let's bring them all around. They get it done.
How about that? Absolute beginners. You would think maybe a couple of rookies in there, but all these guys keeping it on track. That's impressive.
Padavani had an off. Oh, we have a spin. We're going to look at Lundgren, who had a spin. Also spinning is Bashar. We can find this one now. I guess Lundgren, I can't see if I can find it, so we'll look on it here. Oh, I've got it. Oh, he just had it off. Just Lundgren just makes a mistake. His race is over. The car gets wide, and it gets off in the grass. He just loops it back into the wall. You can see him just on the other side of the hill. Raise up your head there. You can see that one. Okay, we're looking at this one. This is another, I think, just a solo spin here from Hausman. Oh, this is from the very beginning. Watch Hausman. This is lap 1. Watch him work. Whoa! Whoa! He gets it back. He keeps it going. He gets it back. He keeps it going. He's not done yet. There's one more spin. There we go. Woo! Remember, Houseman is in the battle for the championship. Up front now, Tuan Tran has decided to take the lead. Don't be fooled by your timing and scoring. Tran is actually the leader. Somebody has taken a tow, and our timing and scoring qualifies them as the leader. Tran out in front, Num in second, Francisco in third, Cocky and Burns. As they cross the start-finish line, our timing and scoring will get caught up there. You see Tran back in the lead. 7-car breakaway, back to Ashley Beard. Beers has, oh my gosh, how about 4.2 seconds back to Mikkel Hoflandaisen?
Hoflandaisen started back in 12th, all the way up to 8th now. So far, looks like one of your big movers up here in the top 10.
And I just saw, oh, maybe we can catch this one. It's Rugen Brink just got into it with Nico Roman. Both those cars go to the inside. Those guys were running inside the top 20. I think Rugenbrink is the lead car. He gets wide and collects. Roman has nowhere to go. That's that same place again. Oh, my. And then a little bit of a tumble. Oh, that was... Bonar was caught up in that one as well. I did not realize.
A wreck.
Oh, my gosh.
We got Vincent Brum. Padavani.
We're going to look at this one twice. We'll watch it, and then we're going to go on board with Kiradine Bawafia. Look at this mess as 3 or 4 cars are taken out. Hang on, because there goes Kiradine shooting right through, and he does more than that. Let's go on board with Kiradine right now, as not only does he avoid the incident, but then he has such momentum. Now, the race stewards are not going to be happy about a guy driving through the... This looks like NASCAR from about 15 years ago when he raced through the yellow. Watch Kiradine. Here he goes and opens up. But stay with it because it gets better. So I'll just go off here into the grass and get these two guys. Wow. Okay, up front now. The Portuguese driver, Diego Francisco, up in front as he's trying to pull away. Arrow Num in second, Tran, Cocky, and Burns. Dawson, as exciting as these passes are for the lead, I hate to downplay him, but it is kind of ho-hum because I don't think anybody's going anywhere. Although Diogo might have a different opinion of that as he starts to try to pull away. Oh, Arrow very loose! Oh! My gosh! Maybe not the fastest way around, but I think we'll have to get the judges to score that one artistically.
Yeah, and you talk about the passing, you know, these cars, they have such small engines that the little bit of aero that you can get, the little bit of draft, you get these guys, as you can see right now, they're going 3 wide. It's just a lot of passing, and I love watching these races because of that. These Skip Barbers are a lot of fun to drive and watch.
In this series, the 3 wide pass is a common occurrence. In fact, it's putting the toothpaste back in the tube. They'll go right through the middle, but they have to get it sorted out before they get down into the corner. Now, that little spin from Num, that's probably Francisco saying, okay, that's my break to get away. I don't think it's going to happen. He's up by 7/10 of a second. But remember, Francisco was your 3rd fastest qualifying, putting in a 1:32.1. Num put in a 1:32, well, 1:31, just under that. Uh-oh, we got more problems going on. This is Andy Moore. Could have been worse. He was hooked up with Marcus Castot. It was only ends up being Moore as Marcus gets away clean.
Looks like he just runs just a little bit wide out of that corner.
We have 25 cars still on the lead lap. Out of the 36 that started, we've lost, well, actually, I think only 34 actually took the grid, so we've lost 8 drivers so far. Up front, it looks like this is Arrow Num. And his familiar number 78 is going to duck inside the 48. And that's all seems well and good, but really, I don't know if you want to leave. Pierce Cocky says, all right, let me come around you. Tuan Tran, I'll get up into 3rd. David Third Degree Burns racing back there in 5th. And when we say Burns, what he likes to do is not burn up his fuel. He has a nice reputation of racing back in 5th position. He kind of downplays it in his humble style, saying, I just really wasn't fast enough to race with those guys. But what I really think Burns is doing right now is just happy to sit back there, lifting, saving fuel, trying to pass them when they come into the pits. Oh, I love this roadkill cam as we ride underneath the nose of Burns. That is so cool.
Gives you a really good look at this circuit. A lot of trees, just a good looking circuit, and you can tell that's why they made no changes. I think it's been since 1967, so this track, a really good looking track on top of its racing.
We're going to look here at, oh, that's Tony Matthews. He took a tow. Want to look at a driver right now. They'll get this reference, these Europeans here. This is what I call the Thor Heyerdahl spot. Let's go to 9th right now. This is Mikael Hoflandaisen. People familiar with Thor Heyerdahl know he's the guy who would like build a raft out of weeds and try to sail it across the ocean all by himself. Right now, that's what Mikael Hoflandaisen is doing. He's all by himself between continents. Not up in the 7-car lead up in front, and well ahead of the big 4-car draft behind him. You guys in the YouTube chat, raise your hand if you know Thor Heyerdahl.
I can already tell you that I do not, so I'm assuming that is a road racing reference.
No, he's a sailor.
Oh.
Yeah, good. Now, remember Karadine Bawafia? Remember what he did when he shot through all those cars? He is up to 12th. Yes, now I have a personal policy of not calling guys who do not put in qualifying times hard chargers. But he would be the hard charger. I just don't appreciate the sandbagging. Oh, my goodness, almost gets us in the back of Bambi. They work through. Watch at this, though, now, as they come out of Moss. Watch Bawafia. He has a great run. Bambi's like a deer in the headlights there. Let's go back to the lead. Oh, my goodness, 3 wide as they jive down into the corner, and it is Francisco who's going to lead as they work through the S's, headed up into whites. And Dawson, that train, which was once 7 cars long, did they lose a couple? Did a couple come uncoupled? Andrew Leach trying to hang in there?
I think Ashley Beard was also a part of that, right?
Yeah, Beard's gone too. No big names have come in for the pit stops yet. The window is open, but now it's a 5-car train up in front. The rookie Francisco reading the 4-time champion Errol Num. Another veteran, Pierce Cockey. Tuan Tran has a Season 6 championship under his belt. David Third Degree Burns picked up his first win a couple seasons ago. He has 2. And again, I like Burns right now. Look for him to be first out, to be leading after the pit stops are done. Go ahead.
I'm assuming that the common strategy right now would be to wait for all these cars in this top 5 to wait and not pit right away, as we got 3 wide for the lead right now, and looks like Pierce Cockey going to make it all the way through and take the lead.
Tuan Tran going to duck in there as well. Careful. Oh, a little bit of a squeeze from Francisco. These guys did not know Francisco early on. They've picked up a lot of respect for him. They feel safe racing around him. Francisco really aggressive, though. I mentioned before we started racing, he's not scared to put it in there. Honestly, David Burns happy to sit back there with his big box of popcorn. He's got his soda, watching the show. Okay, I want to go back to the band Karadine Bawafia now. Where is he? He's up to 10th. He's got around Sawyer. He's got around Bambi. And he's just about to work on Hausman. Remember, Hausman is in this championship race. The good news for Buafia is he's going to get this pass made, I think. Well, maybe not. The bad news is once he gets around Hausman, there's really nowhere to go unless he can catch Miguel Hoflandaisen. Let's stay on this. Buafia trying to make it work. In the number 34. Heading up. Oh, careful. They got to get this sorted out before Moss. Hausman says, you're a little too close, and he takes evasive action. Now Hausman side by side. He's going to lose that position. He's going to get no drive off of there as Ludwig Sawyer is going to drive away. And Hausman is going to be so checked up that even that's going to let Bambi get in there. Neil Bamber has got to run, and Hausman's going to drop back another position, I think. Let's stay on this as they get it sorted out, heading up into 8. Boy, Bastian really, really pressuring Bamber over there. Now he moves back over to the preferred line. Dives it in. That's pretty good racecraft from Hausman. He didn't want Bamber to have a good entry in there, so he kind of forced him over. Holds on to that position. Hard racing going on. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. All right, let's go back up to the lead, and all you Estonians out there, don't worry. Errol Num has gone back to P5, but that's right where he wants to be right now. Don't be surprised if he is first to pull off. He likes to be at the end, and once the other 4 guys pass pit entrance, he goes in, I'll take my spot. Remember, he is your fastest qualifier, and he is so confident with his driving that he feels that he's almost faster by himself than he is even with guys that are leapfrogging. To the point where he finds even traffic isn't an issue. If he falls back there and gets into guys who haven't pitted yet, just another car for him to draft off of.
Just behind Arrow is Andrew Leach. He's almost pulled that gap between him and that train almost to 1 second. So I wonder if these guys, as they keep racing, he kind of watches and slowly making his way back up to that pack.
They come around. Nobody takes a bite of the pit apple this time. That's a great point, Dawson. Look there at the gap between Num and Leach. Leach is coming, and Leach has pace. If he can get there, he's got pace and racecraft to get a win. Tran is, my gosh, he was off. He's okay. Well, that goes on. He now dropped back to 4th. Maybe that gap from Num back to Leach is 1 second. From Leach back to Beard, 4 seconds.
Typically with iRacing, most cars, once you get within that second gap, you start getting a little bit of help from the draft. So he's basically right up with the group right now as we look. Maybe down to within a half second.
Yeah, I think he's there. Yeah, he'll be able to get on the back of Num and get back in there. So yeah, I thought for sure the train was going to pull away. In fact, the farther Num drops back off of Tran, that's good news for Leach. He's like a stepping stone back up to the front. Those 4 cars go into 8. Francisco, Cocky, Burns, and Tran. All right, I want to go back to 8th position. This is Hoflandaisen. But here comes Caradine Buafia. I said, when Caradine got around Hausman and Bamber and those guys, I said there's nowhere else for him to go. I was wrong. He ran away from them and is now after Hoflandaisen.
Caradine right now is setting the fastest times out of any car on track, so he's definitely on a mission.
Yeah, he makes quick work of Hoflandaisen. And that's the end of it. You can't get any farther, right? There's no way he's going to be able to run down Ashley Beard, who's 4.5 seconds ahead. Well, maybe not. This might be the best news for Hoflandaisen now. Old Thor Heyerdahl out there all by himself. Maybe he can hook onto that shark and let him pull him across the ocean. Up in front, 5-car train, and then a caboose trying to get on there of Andrew Leach. Let's stay with the leaders as they head down the Mario Andretti Straight. Look at the defensive line from the Portugal driver. Diego Francisco on the inside is going to make, who's that, Pierce Cocky? Cocky going to try to take it up top. Look at the run now from David Third Degree Burns. He doesn't want any part of that, and neither does Tuan Tran. Tuan Tran had to run out this way. Burns knows all I'm going to do if I get to the front is just burn fuel. Pass on the pits. Go ahead.
Francisco getting really close there to Cocky, so I wonder, these two have been switching back and forth, and like you keep talking about the amount of fuel you have to take on this pit stop, it really might not work out for them too.
First guy to bite, Karadine Bawafia. He had done all he had to do on the track. Now he'll come in, get this stop, up and down. Falls back into 14th position. Let's see where he's going to cycle out. Still in the pits. My goodness, boy, it's a long time for anybody to get there. He's going to come. Let's go to Bawafia right now. He's going to cycle out. He's going to have a train coming behind him. Is he going to get out in front of, this is Padovani and Roman? He does. So keep an eye on Bawafia. He was up to 8th position when he came in. Pass for the lead. I don't mean to make it nonchalant, but Francisco gets it done. There is a back marker up there. Lucas Antonori. Don't know much about Luca. I have not seen him at one of the Backmarkers United meetings. He might be in one of the European branches. Racing in 24th position, the last car on the lead lap. 24 minutes of racing to go. Now the man who qualified in 8th, had some mistakes. Running 2nd in the point, Bastian Hausman brings the car in. I think the car is clean. I think it'll be a normal stop. Familiar 181. A little bit of a bent wing there. Bawafia's stop was 13.4 seconds. Hausman's stop, 14.2, relatively similar. Five cars up front. Boy, try as he might, Andrew Leach. He's got to feel like the little brother who has to sit on the sidelines while all of the big brother's friends play football. Come on, let me play, guys.
We thought he was there, and now it just seems like he's drifted back. And he's kind of getting left out of the party, like you're saying. But that might be a good thing. He's able to stay out of the racing and maybe stay out of a little bit of trouble.
None of the top 5 bite, nor does Leach. Hofflandaisen, after he had a friend, now he's back to being alone again. Let's drop back and look at this battle here between Ludwig Sawyer and Liam Quinn. Mr. Excitement. I think Mr. Excitement's going to get this pass made if he wants it. Now, boy, he had a great run coming out of White's corner. Decided not to push it. Let's stay on these guys for a little bit. You can tell that either Quinn is fast or the car just is in the tow. No reason to come off this yet. Let's stay with it all the way around through Moss and see if he makes the pass down the Andretti Straight. Nothing going on up front. They're on the Andretti Straight right now. There'll probably be a pass for the lead up there, but we're not going to stay up. We're going to stay right on this battle. Here they come in through Moss. This is 5 and 6. Now let's see what Quinn does. Does he want it? Boy, he doesn't. Here he comes, about 2 car lengths back. 1 car length back, hack a car length back, right behind him, ducks to the inside, side by side. Liam Quinn says, "See you later, boy, like you're a skater, boy." Move Ludwig Sawyer back into 12th. Meanwhile, all the leaders, check back with them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. None of them pit. And little brother Andrew Leach decides to stay out there as well. Who will come in? Let's give you an interval from Francisco back to Kiradine Buafia, the only car that has pitted that's up there. How about 40 seconds? That's the bogey time.
Buafia now bringing it into the pits.
Oh, is he coming in again? Oh, he didn't even go to the pits. It looked like, yeah, he stopped it early. Now took a tow. Now he's in the very front, but he's sharing pits. So, yeah, something wrong there. Maybe he's fast because he didn't put in a full tank of fuel. That wouldn't be fair. Pass for the lead. Boy, I hate to be so cavalier about this pass for the lead, but pass for the lead. Pierce Cockey out in front. Francisco Tran, Burns, Errol Num, happy in 5th. Going through the S's. Here we go. Coming in, no bites there. Neither does Leach. Now, I heard a thank you from Mikael Hoflandes. I don't know who he could be thanking. Oh, I guess he went around the lap car of Luca Antonori. That's it. Hoflandes, and one of the more vocal and polite drivers on the circuit. All right, let's take this opportunity to go to somewhere obscure. Director, how about, is there anywhere we can go back there? Somebody in a battle? Oh. Let's go to 15th. This is Nico Roman. Oh, and Bastian Hausman. Okay. Tried to find you at least one obscure driver. Hausman out there in the familiar purple and black attack of Mama Jean Racing. Or, if you want to think of the other way, he's a black and violet pilot. Nico Roman racing in 14th. Hausman, yeah, we talked about it. Oh, Gastal has come in. He's going to fall behind Hausman. Now that's important. Every point is important for Hausman, even though he's 10 points behind. If he can stay within disaster range of Errol Num, there's the pass. Boy, look at that. I think Nico says, "I know your name." Oh, Bastian making it exciting. Giving a little thank you slide to Nico. Nico racing back there saying, "Wait a minute, Bastian, aren't you second in the points? Why don't you go on around me?" 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all pass on pit lane again. As does Andrew Leach. Leach is now 2.3 seconds behind Errol Num. He got it to a second. We thought he was going to get there. Drifted back.
Liam Quinn going to bring it in the pits.
Mr. Excitement, we saw him in a battle earlier. Brings it in now. Now, we were going to look for Kiradine Buafia, but now with him out, we'll see if we can pick up Bastian Hausman. Hausman's is a way away. He's not even into the final corner yet. I don't think Quinn's going to be able to get in and out before Hausman. Quinn is rolling. Hausman on the straight. Quinn has a long way to go before he gets to the acceleration line. And Hausman is going to go by while Quinn is still on the other side of the wall. Bastian remains the lead of all the cars who have pitted, but Quinn's right behind him. That'll be a good battle. Boy, a couple veterans of the series, only a half a second apart, racing in 13th.
Well, the lead pack's still together. It's still that top 5. Leach seems to be dropping a little bit. Still no takers for pit road.
You know, I gave you that Thor Heyerdahl reference for Mikkel Hoflandaisen. How Thor Heyerdahl will take a reed raft across the ocean. It has sunk. Mikkel Hoflandaisen has disconnected. Too bad. We're not sure. Hoflandaisen is gone, or maybe there was maybe he had an accident. I'm looking. I don't. Yeah, it might have been. I can't imagine he was racing all by himself that he would have got to the incident cap. Well, more spots. That's good news for Bastian Hausmann, who's still in the championship race. That's just one more point for him. It only pays down to 20, so everything he can get helps. The leaders. Dawson, when are they coming in? Come on, boys. Roger Pritkin right now racing in 20 is thinking maybe this would be a good time for the leaders to come in because the herd is coming, Roger. There's going to be no place to hide when these 5 guys catch you.
Looked like Tran wanted to get around Piers, but no room.
Okay, Diego out in front now. Any takers? No. My gosh. Yeah, Roger Pritkin has to be saying, oh, man. All right, this could be good news for Leach, maybe. This might get him up here. Coming out of pit lane, though, we have Christopher Hancock coming out. He's in 20th. He's going to come out a lap down, but he'll probably get that lap back when these leaders pit. Look at that. Nice job. Let's watch our back marker there. Pretty much pulled it over and parked it. Hey, you guys at the Back Marker United meeting, give Roger Pritkin the comfortable chair up front, okay? Well done, Roger. They all know the chair I'm talking about. It's that rocker with the padded seat. All right, next up, Andrew Moore. Moore, on my screen, his feet are nice and cool as he doesn't seem to have a nose cone. Now, that's sometimes what I see and what actually you might be seeing might be different.
Well, I got the same thing as well.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They all go by. Andy Moore. Little known fact, Andy Moore is the nephew of Roger Moore, who was the actor that played 007. The R for Roger, I think, yeah. And our director confirms that he has no nose cone either, so Andy out there doing a good job. If I ever had a car where I could want some aero damage, it would be the Skippy. It actually, not horrible sometimes, although I do like my nose cone, but I can do okay without a front wing sometimes. What a peaceful race here going on. Gives us an opportunity. Let's see if we can highlight one more guy. How about, this is Hausmann and Quinn. Let's watch this battle. Quinn out in front. They just swapped position. Remember, Hausmann got up in front of Quinn after the pit stop? Well, Mr. Excitement in 11th. Uh-oh. Tony Matthews, another incident. Was that the one I thought I heard contact. Was that the one I just saw? Man. Thought I heard somebody hit the wall, but I can't find it.
Saw Andy Moore get an off track, but he seems to be fine.
Yes, we're okay. We use all of our senses here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Sometimes we hear something and we can try to look for it, but I could not find it. Meanwhile, up front, they continue to do the dance. The 5-car waltz that is being danced by Pierce Cockey, Francisco. Oh, now it's a 4-car waltz. Short Phil has decided to come in first. I definitely heard somebody hit the wall now, and it's Marcus Gestalt. There we go. Marcus was racing on the lead lap in 16th position at the time. This is kind of an interesting place to lose it. Did he lose it coming out of this? Yeah, got the car a little bit wide on the grass. Boy, he tried to save it. He worked it and worked it and worked it. Would have had it saved if it wasn't for the concrete walls. Short fill is out. Pierce Cockey comes out well ahead of Neil Bamber, who is now the leaders of all the cars who've pitted. Bambi has been in and out. Oh, no, Bambi is in right now. I apologize. Bambi is the leader of all the cars who've pitted because he's just coming out right now. Let's see. He's rolling. Is he going to get out in front of... Here comes Quinn and Hausman right now. Bamber trying to get that car up to speed. I think he's going to get out there. Sure enough. In 9th.
It's behind them. Flourish Bashar. He's going to come out of the pits as well.
Top 8 still have yet to pit. Top 7 still yet to pit. Stefan Larkamp, the Pennsylvania driver, the last of that group. Ashley Beard, and then all the guys up front.
Diego
All
Francisco.
right, he bites. And so does Leach. So now with Francisco coming in, the guy we want to watch, where is Cockey? Cockey just working through 8 right now, heading into the S's. Short fill stop, 10.6 seconds. Fastest stop of anybody so far. Thereby the name Short Fill.
Larkamp in as well.
Cockey is out ahead of Francisco by quite a bit. Let's call it 1.2 seconds. Compare stop times. Cockey stop, 10.6 in the box. Francisco, 13.3. I am quite confident that Pierce is going to run out of fuel before this race is done. I hate to have what's that called, a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I think it is. Let's go up front. This is Tran. Burns now going to lead a little bit. Oh, nope. How about 3 wide? Putting the toothpaste in the tube. Arrow Numb. And you know what that means? That means it's time to pit. Arrow Numb would like to be first into pit lane. Come around. And yep. That's how we play this game.
Third degree Burns going to stay out.
That's because he saved the most fuel out of any of these guys. Expects Burns to have a pretty fast stop. So let's pick up Cockey. He's going through 9 right now. Numb is in his box just ahead of Tuan Tran, the 2 fastest qualifiers. Cockey's on the main straight, crossing the start-finish line.
Numb
is rolling. Pierce has it up full song. He's going to get Tran. He's not going to get Tran. And oh my goodness, Arrow Numb 1.5 seconds ahead of Tuan Tran. Why is that? Well, I told you about Pierce Cockey's time of 10.6 in the box. How about Tuan Tran? 9.8. And you know, when you're commentating about a 4-time champion, I have learned you do not question what they do. 9.8 is probably just the right amount of fuel to get the Roland Estonian to the start-finish line. All right, it's time for third degree to come in this time, and he does. Now, Burns, remember, sat back in 4th, 5th spot, just saving. If anybody has a fast stop, it would be him. And honestly, he's into pit lane a little bit earlier than as compared to where Numb is right now. Numb is just going through 8 through 9. Let's see what Burns has up his...
Ooh, Numb! Oh, wow. Maybe that's normal. Holy cow, he got sideways in that turn.
Yeah, maybe that's normal. Welcome to the Absolute Beginner League. Okay, Burns is rolling. Here comes the rolling Estonian. If Burns wants to cut across the track and cut him off, that's why I get paid the big bucks here on the Global Sim Racing channel. First out of the pits, David Third Degree Burns. End of the year, I have my raise meeting coming up soon. I'm going to bring this race with me.
Yeah.
Oh, Francisco has back into the pits. What could have happened? Maybe a speeding penalty on the exit that he had to pay later. The 48 had to come back in. That's a mistake. Going to cycle in behind Ludwig Sauer. Battle for the lead. Here comes the Roland Estonian and Third Degree. They are side by side down the Mario Andretti straight. The preferred position to the Bushfink Pink machine. Burns has to get out of the way. Tony Matthews. Oh my God, here they come, Tony! Oh! Tuan Tran did not leave Pierce Cocky any extra room. Tran said, Pierce, if you're going to go on that line, you may want to think about going behind me. Pierce said, no, I think I can squeeze between you and Tony Matthews. Tony Matthews says, I can only make that car so skinny, boys. Woohoo!
4 minutes left in the race.
All right, let's catch our breath, run down your lineup here for you. Up in front, it's a two-car battle. Errol Num and David Third Degree Burns. They have about a 7/10 of a second lead back to Tuan Tran. Tran is close enough to get up there and also bring Pierce Cocky with him. So, what's the story with Andrew Leach? Well, he's racing sixth most of the day with the departure of Francisco because of the pit penalty. Leach moves up to fifth. We got to drop back a little bit to Ashley Beard. He's the best of the rest. He's got nobody really next to him. A lot of buffer of lap cars between him. Then we get to this battle for seventh. Here's Quinn, Hausman, and Neil Bamber. We'll stay on this for a bit as they come out of Moss. Look for the 181 to make a move. And Dawson, watch this. This I feel the toothpaste in the tube is coming right here. Watch Bamber. If he wants it, it's there. I think he's going to lay back a little bit. Here comes Bambi. There's a hole in the middle if you want it. Oh dear. No pun intended. Bambi on the inside. Quinn. Bamber gets it. They're not dead yet. Oh, in front it's Hausman. Bamber has nowhere to go. We'll go on board with Bambi, who truly was a deer caught in the headlights here. Nothing to do but go straight. Ouch. That's right, boys. We caught that live as it happens. And with all that going on, how about the Pennsylvania driver, Stefan Larkamp? He actually has Liam Quinn in his sights. It's about 2.3 seconds back. We'll keep an eye on him, but a nice run from Larkamp. All right, we got to go up to the lead now with just over 3 minutes to racing. We're going to focus everything up front. Our leader right now, Tuan Tran, David Burns, Errol Num, Pierce Cocky. Who has enough fuel? Who has too much fuel and their car is heavy? They cross the line this time. 2 to go. Dawson, where do you want to be? First, second, maybe third? Probably not fourth.
I like third. I like where Aeronam is. We've seen that, putting it through the toothpaste at third and all the way up to first. I like his position.
Tran, they work through now Quebec for the next to the last time. Probably not going to see anything happen until they get to Moss, and then they will start thinking strategy. There are 2 cars ahead of them. Neagle Roman, who is last car on the lead lap, and then Andy Roger Moore in 26, the lap down. And I believe these guys are going to be an issue here. In fact, they're going to catch them on the Andretti straight. Going a little wide through Moss, that was Tran. That opens the door up a little bit for Burns. And they just may want to block right now. Here comes the toothpaste. It's numb, but there's nowhere to go. They got to go around a lap car. They managed to get a Neagle Roman. They go 4 wide. Tran backs out now. Now they're coming up on the behind Moore. Moore hits the brakes and lets them by. 2 wide now as they come into 8. On the inside, it's Burns. The momentum to Numb. Numb is out in front. Burns fighting back. They come around Whites. They'll see the flag that has no pigment this time. 10 corners between Errol Numb and another victory. I do not think Numb's going to stay in the lead all the way around. Burns in second. Tran in third. Pierce Cocky back and forth waiting for an opening. Numb is your pole sitter. If he had a hot lap in him, he wants it right now. Can he put enough gap between him and Burns? Remember, Burns qualified 5th. He's probably the least qualified of all these drivers to stay with Errol. They work through Quebec, heading down into Moss for the final time.
The car spinning in front.
Hit your braking zone, and that's the car that's off in front, but he gets out of the way, but it's scared. That was Bastien Hausman, and it scared Tuan Tran off the track. It's a 3-car battle now. Tran is out of it. They have worked their way through Moss. Numb with a great run out of 6. Here it comes. This might be for the pass for the lead. He is 3 car lengths back. Burns scooting up in his chair, using his Flintstone feet, trying to get anything to go. The big hole is being punched for Pierce Cocky. Cocky with the biggest run of all. A defensive line from Numb. Burns tries to go wide. Look at this as they go down into the S's. Numb able to defend. Burns cannot find his way around. Is there enough time out of 10 before the start-finish line? I don't think so. It's the rolling Estonian, and he is rolling, and he gets the win. Burns second, Cocky third. Tuan Tran finds his way back on the track. I'm not sure if that lap is going to count if he had to pay a slowdown penalty. Tran, I guess, gets 4th. Leach 5th. Beard. Quinn is in 7th. Larkamp in 8th. Looking for any battle on the lead lap. Maybe P10. This is Bashar ahead of Ludwig Sauer. The final corner, I don't think Sauer's going to have anything for him. And the rest of them are going to come home. Bamber's going to get 12th after T-boning Hausman, Austin Espati, and Roger Pritkin. We're going to look at this replay for Tran. Find out what happened here. I thought he had enough time. Let's look at this, Dawson. He's racing here in 3rd. We'll watch it with you live. Now, there's the spinning car up there. Did he just lose concentration? I guess he threw the smoke, and oh, what a tough break. Yeah, you wouldn't expect that from your teammate as Hausman got loose. All right, the racing is done here in Canada, but our broadcast is far from over. What we're going to do right now is take a short break. We'll come back to run down the finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, and then put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Absolute Beginners League's Formula Neagle Round 6 of 7 on the Season 12 calendar from Mosport. And we got the race in, and boy, it was an exciting one. And once again, no matter how it shakes out, it seems like the Roland Estonian always manages to get to the checkered flag first, this time 0.2 of a second ahead of David Third Degree Burns as Errol Num gets another win. Pierce Cocky, he put in enough fuel. He sat back there, watched everything happen. No room for him to get up there. He comes home in third. Tuan Tran had to take evasive action. He was in fourth position when it happened, maybe third, so he only loses one spot as he comes home inside the top 5. Andrew Leach, boy, what a quiet race for him. Nobody to battle with. He just raced behind the leaders the whole time, gets 5th position. Ashley Beard, Liam Quinn, Stefan Larkamp goes 6th, 7th, and 8th. A quiet run from Larkamp as well for 8th. Diogo Francisco, we saw him race up front with the leaders, had to make an extra pit stop. That cost him several positions. Floris Bashar rounds out your top 10. Dawson?
Ludwig Sawyer going to finish in 11th. Neil Bamber, we saw him in a couple of exciting moments. He'll finish 12th. Austin Espedy, really quiet all race, 13th. Roger Pricken, your last car on the lead lap. He'll sit 14th. Now we start the lap cars. Marcus Gisidal, Nico Roman, Bastian Heusman in 17th. Richard Colom in 18th. Luca Antonori 19th. And 20th, Michael Bittman.
And all the rest of these drivers lost to the racetrack as they are 2 or more laps down. Christopher Hancock, Jefferson Padavani, Michael Rugenbrink, Tom Vanderpool, Mikkel Hoflandaisen. Not sure what happened to Mikkel. He just kind of blinked away. Andy Moore, Tony Matthews, Kiradine Bawafia. Boy, he had a great run and then some weird pit stops. Something happened there, and that run came to an end. Daniel Bennett, and in 30th position, Vincent Breen. Boy, didn't hear much from Vincent. He qualified 14th. He was got out early. Go ahead, Dawson.
Andy Benar, 31st. Rob Adams, 32nd. Joachim Lundgren, 33rd. Kevin Mills, 34th. Ricard Allard and Adam Bradshaw did not take the green flag. They sit 35th and 36th.
Okay, I'm going to bring in our winner here today. It seems like only yesterday I talked to him about Errol, I've done a lot of broadcasts, but didn't you just win an MWT event as well? And now here you are getting this one.
Yeah, I did, I think.
It's been a good weekend for you. Let's talk race strategy first of all. Earlier on, I was not surprised to see you fall back to 5th position. You just back there saving fuel?
Yeah, as soon as I saw they are going too wide in the last 2 corners, there's no point. So, and the group was pretty small, so.
And then I could almost feel it when we saw you go to the lead. You fought your way back up to the lead. I go, he's coming in. He wants to be first in the pit lane. Is that the thinking there?
Yeah, that was the lap I had to pit.
Yep, got to go on that one. Okay, well, you didn't get out first, though. You had a driver in front of you. But then you're in a 4-car battle. We lost Tran a little bit. We were talking, the director and Dawson and I were talking, it's really a roll of the dice. There's no reason you should win all of these. You did it again. You just waited to the end, get the lead, and try to hold it, I guess was the strategy, huh?
Yeah, there was actually no strategy. I just went and the last lap, I think it's maybe a little bit luck, and yeah, that way it didn't.
Yeah, it seems like the guys with talent are always the most luckiest. Hey, well, congratulations on another win. The bad news is, with a short season and no drop races, you really haven't clinched this thing. You had one mistake when we go to Japan, and you could lose the championship.
No, I'm champion. There isn't enough points anymore because Bison was 17. So
you're right. He finished so far down that he's not going to be able to get there. Well, GSRC has to cover it anyway, so make sure you show up.
Yeah.
There you have Errol Num. Congratulations, as he has clinched the championship, his 5th of his career. My gosh. Let's move on to another interview here. Who can we talk to? How about David Third Degree Burns? He was sitting back there. I thought he might have the win. Dawson, why don't you talk to Third Degree?
Well, David, you had a pretty easy race. That first stint, you were taking it easy. Looked like you were saving fuel. We both agreed. We thought you were going to be in a great spot along with Errol Num, and turned out you two would be the ones fighting for the win at the end. It was a heartbreaking finish. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy actually. It worked out quite well because it was saving fuel, because I knew straight away, I thought there's no point being at the front and wasting all that fuel. So I thought if I go for the longer stint, and it nearly worked, I put too much, few laps too much. So, but still, it was fun. It was really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement on that last lap. We saw a spun car. Tuan Tran had to go wide, but it ended up, it was you and Arrow and Piers. We thought that maybe with that draft you would be in a good position, but you just weren't able to get enough speed going down the straight.
Yeah, it was the spun car in the middle of the road that unsettled me, because I lifted. I thought he was actually going to drive forward, so I lifted slightly in preparation for that. And by that time, I realised coming out of Moss Corner, I didn't quite have enough. I knew I could get alongside Aero, but you need to be a little bit closer to try and make that run on him. But I'm happy with second. I really am. I don't think I could have done much better than that.
David, we get into these, it's Soup here, we get into these shootouts at the end, and you would think that one of the times somebody could beat Numb, but how is it that he's able to win all of these when it's really almost like a strategy match at the end? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it, and it is frustrating, because sometimes I think, oh, he's in front again, but he is just genuinely that good. He has the skill and the wherewithal to spot these things coming. Yes, luck is a big part of it, but he is that good, and it's a well-deserved, but at least it gives you something to aim for.
It really does. He is truly amazing how he seems to, when no matter how many there are, 3, 4, 5 car battle, he manages to get there. Hey, congratulations on a great season.
Yeah, cheers for that, guys.
All right, we'll see you in Japan. Let's go ahead and see. We have one more here. I saw some more people in there. Let's talk with Bastian Hausman. Can we bring him down? Oh, did he leave, Bastian? There you are. Here we go. Bastian Hausman, oh my goodness. You still had a chance at the championship till the very end. What happened?
Hey, good evening. Yeah, it just wasn't my day, I think. I didn't have pace with qualifying, and then in the race I got hit. And yeah, I didn't see any damage, but I felt that the car didn't felt properly, so I couldn't get in front fast enough.
You had that mistake there where and then I guess it was Bamber that got injured. He had nowhere to go. But even that, boy, a 17th place finish, that's not what you needed. Even a top 10 would have been enough to at least keep the pressure on. But I think Arrow's locked it up now.
Yeah, indeed. Congratulations to him. He had a very good run this season. Too bad I couldn't make a better fight of it.
Nevertheless, you got to be happy. You picked up your first career win this season, and you're up there in the points. All in all, pretty darn good.
Yeah, for me personally, it was an amazing season. And the first one, I could race all the races, and it was going good. So, I enjoyed it very much.
All right, we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks when we go to Suzuka. That always puts on a good show. Thanks for coming in and talking with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bastian Hausman racing for Mama Jean Racing. Mama Jean not going to be happy that her team is not in the championship hunt at the very end. Well, at least she's going to get the team championship. That's true. Did we have any left? Well, real quick, Dawson, let's see if we can talk to Mikael Hoflandes and see what happened to him. Go ahead, Dawson.
Well, Mikael, you had a pretty okay race going, but what happened there?
Yeah, my internet just cut out. So I was running 8th place, quite stable the whole race. After starting P12, after messing up my qualifying a little bit, straight the internet just decided to stop.
Oh, that's really a shame. We were looking and trying to see whether or not, you crashed or something. It just seemed like you fell off the map. And well, that's really a shame. But next week you get to go to Japan for the final race. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Hoping the internet will not crash again, as it's a quite good track for me. Last race we did there, I got taken out, but I was running at the top 10. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
All right.
Before I let you go, it's Soup here. I was watching your race, and I thought maybe the good news could happen when Kiradine Boathia, who was really fast, caught up to you. I thought maybe he might be able to drag you up to the rest of the group, but then you couldn't stick with him. Did you think this is a good thing to have Kiradine racing with me?
I saw him come from the back, and I saw him catching me 10th after 10th every lap. And then he caught up with me. I thought, okay, I'm going to try to slipstream, get to Andrew and all the other guys. But then the lap he caught me and passed me, he just went straight into the pits. So I get much of it. I got 1 or 2 tenths out of it.
Yeah, we're not sure what happened there. Hey, good luck. We'll see you in a couple weeks when we close out the season in Japan.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Mikhail Hofland racing for AM Racing, and that team is inside the top 5. Okay, that's going to do it for us here on the Global Sim Racing channel, but don't leave yet because we have to thank all the people that make this possible. First of all, we have to thank everybody at the Absolute Beginner League for organizing Formula Neagle and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. Special thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde for providing the background music. See the screen for how to contact them. Next up for Formula Neagle will be in 2 weeks, and that is the season finale, December 17th from Suzuka International Racing Course. GSRC will be there. We hope you join us. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, which includes dates and times of upcoming broadcasts, your best bet is www. I don't know if you actually have to type those W's in there or not. GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel. I think you probably need the @ sign. And at Facebook at /Global Sim Racing Channel. Finally, on behalf of my booth mate today, Never Say Die, Dawson Brock, our director, Joe Peak, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we are off to have fun, Storm of the Castle. I've had 6 broadcasts to do this weekend. This is my last one. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.